Guys, today I am responding to a viewer's comment where he feels that the dating scene is a little bit one-sided. In his particular case, he's wondering why doesn't the girl ever approach? We're going to tackle that right now. Hey guys, it's Brian back at you with another video where my goal is to mentor young adults and not so young adults to a rewarding career, but also to create a life that they're ultimately proud of. And guys, with regards to that, if this is your first time here, know that I offer free mentoring advice by way of these YouTube videos. So just send me your questions either in the comment section down below or go to my website 101mentoring.com. I'll pick your question and I'll answer it in a video just like this. It's all free. Definitely check it out. All right, let's get to the viewer's question or the viewer's comment right now. And he says, it's just hard always being the one that has to start the conversation. It always feels like I have to win her over and it's up to her how it ends out. It would be nice if it was more socially normal for either sex to make the first move. I like to believe I'm an above average looking dude, but I also have social anxiety. The dating scene just feels unfair. It's so much easier to get a date or attention if you are female, even if you're ugly, than it is being a male. Let's break this down. I think the first thing we have to do is establish some ground rules here. And the first ground rule before I answer all this is that let's assume that this is in a setting where it is socially acceptable to actually approach people, that you are in a social setting where you can approach, where people are there to meet other people for the purpose of dating or just to get to know people. It could be in a bar, a club, or a party, or something of that nature. The second ground rule is let's assume that the person that you are interested in talking to has actually given you some sort of signal that they're interested and open to talking to you, whether that means that they held eye contact with you longer or smiled at you or given you some kind of signal that, you know what, they're open to talking to you. Third ground rule is that if a girl or a guy says no or they're not interested, you have to respect that. It's important that they feel safe, they feel comfortable. So always respect that position. So with regards to the comment, I think the person really made the point that, you know, it's really unfair. It should be more socially acceptable for girls to approach and say hello to a guy. I think girls are approaching guys more. I think that they're more willing to have conversations and to continue a conversation. So I don't know if it's 100% true that only guys make that first move. And I do think that there is an acceptance and an understanding that girls can do the same. Back in the day, that was definitely less so, but it is growing. I think the percentage of women that are doing that seem to be higher, at least back in the day when I was dating, just got that impression. And to add to this, I think women have a different way of communicating than men do when it comes to approaching or opening that dating conversation. Guys usually just go up to the girl and say hello or whatever they have to say, whereas a girl might have a different way. They might not be so overt and explicit by actually going up to you and saying hello. They may be more subtle. They may actually just move into your line of sight or move closer to you or try to catch your eyes. They might do something along those lines. So it's really important to understand the language, how they communicate when it comes to dating. And once you crack that code, it is way easier to know whether you can approach, whether you can talk to someone. Now, of course, the hard part is understanding and knowing what the code is, but that's for another video altogether. When I read the comment, especially reading behind or between the lines, you really get the sense that there's a power struggle that this person's experiencing. Essentially, he has to go up to a girl, feel like he's being judged as he's trying to talk to her, and she has the ability to approve or veto whether she wants to talk to him or not. And that there's a power dynamic. She gets to choose, whereas he's there trying to like, hey, pick me, pick me. If you go in with that mindset, chances are you're setting up the environment for that dynamic to happen. I think that's where a lot of guys mess up. You want to give them the opportunity to feel like they can choose you or not. It shouldn't be that way. It should be just a regular conversation where two people are just getting to know each other. That's it. So with regards to that, here's how I see things. When you are the host of your own party, you're not there to meet people for the sake of getting their number or taking them out for a date or something of that nature. No, you're there as the host to make sure all your guests are comfortable, that all your guests are having a good time, that all your guests are getting to know each other in a very fun setting. So when you think about it, if you're the host, you just go up to whoever you want to talk to, right? You don't care about getting the approval of someone. You just want to make sure that they're comfortable, that they're having a good time, that you can make sure that they're not socially awkward or that they're alone by themselves. You're just going up there, introduce yourself, welcome them into the place, make sure that they know where everything is. that you just have a regular conversation, and at the same time you get to know them in that whole dynamic, and they get to know you as well. You're not there to seek their approval. You're not there for them to choose you, to hang out with you. I mean, if the conversation isn't going well as a host, if things stagnate, if things get kind of boring, you can just exit that conversation anytime you want, and you can always go back and talk to that person again later. If you think of yourself as the host of a party, you can do the exact same thing in a bar setting, in a club setting, or in a house party that you're not hosting, and you can just approach people like normal, like yourself. It just takes away all that pressure of having to get her number, having to get her interested in you, or having her to continue the conversation on her own. You don't have to worry about those things. All you have to worry about is that they're comfortable, they're having a good time, and you're there to help them with that. Here's the other point when it comes to approaching or going up to the girl and talking to them. I genuinely believe that that is the role of the guy. That's just my own perspective. It might not be yours. Some girls might not agree with me, but that's just me. Now, here's where I'm coming from. When you like someone, when someone piques your interest, or if you want to get to know someone, you want to make it convenient for them to get to know you, like you, or determine that they're not into you. You want to make it convenient, easy for them to make that assessment. And it's no different than, let's say, buying something on Amazon, right? This is probably a horrible example. When I go on Amazon, you've got the one-click purchase feature. You've got all these suggestions for you. They have all the details out there laid out. You don't have to go fishing for your credit card. They make it very, very convenient for you and painless for you to make the determination of whether you want this thing or not. And you're free to choose whichever way you want to go. And I think it's very similar when it comes to approaching. If you think that you like a girl and you want to get to know her, make it convenient for her to get to know you. And the best way to do that is to actually get up there and talk to her. It's no different from getting a job. You don't wait for your employers or a company to book an interview with you. No, you go book an interview with them. That's just the way it is, right? That's just the general dynamic of it. If you want something, you go out there and say hello, make contact. You go there and do the actions that you need to take. And at the end of the day, if she's not into you and she's not interested, that's okay. But at least you're not going to be kicking yourself in the butt the next morning, or even worse, writing something on Craigslist, that misconnection section. Like, don't be one of those guys. You can say to yourself, I did it. I now know she's not interested, and there's no regrets. The last thing I want to leave you guys with is that there's one thing that the commenter said, and that is that the girl has a lot of advantages when it comes to dating. I guess to a certain degree, I can understand where he's coming from, but he does make a very simplistic statement saying that, even if the girl is ugly, she can get dates. Here's the thing. When it comes to advantages or disadvantages, men have advantages as well that are different from women, and vice versa. It's not that they have more advantages, it's just that the advantages are completely different. I mean, as a guy, you don't have to worry about safety. You don't have to worry about getting hurt by the other person. You don't have to wear all this makeup and get all done up every time you go out. You do have advantages yourself, whereas the girl has disadvantages when it comes to the dating scene. They all even out. To me, it's like a zero-sum game. They all even out. They all have their own different advantages and disadvantages. It's just really about understanding the whole dynamics, the reality of it, seeing things from their perspective, and making it easier for them to converse with you, making it easy for them to get to know you, and at the end of the day, that you guys both have a good time, whether it works out or not. So there you go. Those are my thoughts with regards to this comment. Let me know if you guys agree in the comment section down below, or email me 101mentoring.com. And know that I also offer a dating course. It's called How to Date Like a Gentleman. It is not a pickup course. I am not a pickup artist or anything of that nature. It's just about dating like a gentleman. How do you take those principles, those ideas of dating like a gentleman and modernizing that to today's world? It's a live one-on-one session tailored to you. Yes, we go through specific topics, but again, it's really about customizing the whole session for you. If you are interested in it, I'll have a link in the description down below and on the card above as well. Guys, if you have a question for me that you'd like me to answer in a future YouTube video, go to my website, 101mentoring.com, submit your questions, and I'll answer in a video just like this. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.